Hey, how are you? Good person. Hope this finds you well. This is Malika here with another episode of From the Heart. It's been a while, and I'm just going to get right into it because I'm not going to edit or anything. And the longer I go, the more opportunities and chances there are for mistakes. So, this morning I was inspired to do and share this particular story. If you've listened to some of the other episodes of From the Heart, you may be familiar with my perspective that life is a classroom, that anyone and anywhere school can be in session. So anyone can be a teacher, and anywhere we can learn something valuable. And so I had a powerful learning experience that I'd like to share with you. We're just going to get right into it. So, many of you may have heard the episode that I recently posted last week with my guest, Mark Monroe, on having a wealthy mindset, cultivating a wealthy mindset. And if you haven't heard that podcast episode, please check it out. Mark was a great and generous guest. And what I wanted to talk about, I'm going to set this up by talking about having a wealthy mindset isn't determined by how much money you have. Like if you're familiar with Scrooge, right? That story of Scrooge, he was very miserly and he had a lot of money. And so just as a point of reflection, and I'm going to do the same reflection, but it's like, where am I living? What areas of my life am I living in scarcity, be it time, energy, money, etc.? And where am I living? In what areas am I living in my life with a wealthy mindset of having enough and wanting to share? Because that's an ultimate indicator of a wealthy mindset, is knowing that you have enough to share with others. Okay, so what happened was, this weekend, I went to the grocery store and I was walking in and I noticed the guy behind me that was pushing two shopping carts into the store. And I did a quick scan of him and he had the colors of the store employees, like the same colors, but I couldn't tell quickly if he was a staff member or not. But I asked him if I could have one of his carts. Of course, made eye contact, asked him, and he said, he gave me one of his carts, and I thanked him and went on about my day. And later on, back at my car, I'm unloading the shopping cart, and I'm having to, of course, put my head, I'm putting things in the back seat, so I'm kind of climbing into the back seat a little bit, and I come out one of the times, and the man is standing there on the opposite side of the cart, so he's several feet from me. But I didn't hear him come. I didn't see him come. So I literally probably let out like a little bit of a scream or a yelp, out of surprise, and laughed. And I think he laughed as well. We were both had our masks on, so I couldn't see if he smiled or not. But he waited for me to unload my cart. And I finished unloading my cart, and he struck up a conversation with me about some things going on in the neighborhood. And I think he might have been a little bit like delayed or something. I don't think he worked at the store. But that part doesn't really matter. So we talk a little bit, and I'm trying my best to track what he's saying. And, the masks sometimes make it difficult. But anyway, just as quickly as he had come, he was gone, pushing my cart and going back into the parking lot to round up other carts. I didn't think anything else of it until my meditation the following morning. I was meditating and class was in session, and I don't know about anybody else's meditation. Sometimes it's like grocery lists, whatever. Other times it's like I get a different perspective of things, unsolicited, right? I feel like it's inspired, different things that'll come to me or be revealed to me, or lessons. So that moment in the parking lot came up in my meditation. And basically I got schooled about what was really going on a deeper level beyond the surface. I explained like what happened, right? But in the meditation, it was like the spirit was showing me what was really happening underneath all that. And it was about having a wealthy mindset. So like I said, this guy, I don't know what brought him there. I had never seen him there before, but he knew he had enough to give of himself, right? And that desire to serve. And you know who else has wealthy mindsets and they don't usually have a lot of money? Are children. Children will find different things, especially little kids like 4 or 5, whether it's a drawing that they make for you, or if they're picking flowers. That was one of my things when I was a little person. Picking flowers that they think are pretty. Like I used to pick dandelions and all these other different flowers and giving them to people that you love. Like there's a generosity, right? And a desire to give and share. And this man knew that he had something to share and give. And what I was shown was that by my acknowledgement of him and appreciation of his giving and of his service, that he was able to receive, right? That validation, that encouragement, that maybe even for lack of a better word, appreciation or love in that first interaction. So much so that he came back, right? Because he was affirmed, he was seen and appreciated, that he came back. He noticed when I went back to my car and wanted to provide that same service again. And so in that first dance, they say giving is receiving. You've probably heard that before. But in our first interaction, it was that giving is receiving. I was receiving, he was giving, and then he got something because I gave my appreciation and gratitude, right? So then he was also receiving. And he came back for more of that energy and exchange. And I was totally oblivious as to what was going on until that meditation. But I say all this to say, I didn't think that I was giving him anything. I didn't think of it that way in the moment. And with the great resignation and so many people who have, and especially in the service industry, walked away from jobs. And, how many times have we not seen or appreciated those who have made our lives easier and didn't feel like we had enough time, right? Going back to the wealthy mindset, to give of ourselves a little something in return. Sometimes we do with a tip or, other ways, but it just really brought to my awareness, where are the areas that I am generous and where am I not? And I do believe that part of my wealth is in kindness, and that can go a long way. Sometimes in the past, I was a perfectionist, and I'm saying was, which is ambitious and idealistic and hopeful. Sometimes it still pops up, but it's like, sometimes I've been harsh with myself or judged what I wanted to give. Oh, it's not good enough. Oh, I got to work at this. Oh, I got to be better. And then I won't give it because it's not in the shape that I feel like is quote unquote good enough, right, to be shared. That's a form of scarcity. That's a form of lack. That's not a wealthy mindset. And it interrupts the flow of giving. That guy wasn't worried about any of that, or even kids, they're not like, oh, I don't know how to draw hands good, so I'm not going to give this to the person that I was drawing this for. Like they might do that when they get older, but not when they're younger. And so I guess why I'm sharing this reflection is just to say that if you want to cultivate wealth in any area of your life, think about sharing it in some way that affirms that you already have it and you have enough to be shared. Doesn't matter how much, right? But it's that energy of wanting to share with joy and enthusiasm. And everybody's not going to say thank you. That'll be a good gut check on the intention and energy behind why you're giving. Are you giving this from wanting really to get something? Sometimes the hardest people to keep giving to are the ones that are closest to us because it comes with strings attached. Sometimes it's easier to give and share generously with strangers or with children. And so this is just reflective as we continue to cultivate that wealthy mindset, I want to shout out, that gentleman in the parking lot who was such a great teacher. And our interaction total was no more than 90 seconds, but look at the impact his kindness and his generosity of spirit and his wealthy mindset has left on me and hopefully on you listening. So that's all for this episode. I hope it's been good food for thought. Many blessings. And until the next time, keep being good to you. Share that joy and goodness with others. And may we all prosper. God bless.